let me just tell you the truth, okay? Your job, that's what you love. Your job, that's what you studied for in college or university, will never make you rich. By the way, we don't have any track record of anyone who has ever become wealthy out of their jobs, unless you're a politician. And of course, I know you know what I mean when I say unless you're a politician. So the fact remains, your job is the wrong route that you can take if you are so much inspired and you're moving towards achieving what we call the financial freedom. I repeat, your job is like catching the wrong flight. It's like you're catching a flight, let's say, to Europe, and you did catch a flight that is heading up back to what we call the South America. So the point is, your job, yes, it is okay. I'm not bashing it and say, hey, you go quit tomorrow morning, write a resignation letter. No, 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 no. Listen, let me tell you one secret. Would you believe if I tell you that we were lied to when we were told, hey, go to university, go to colleges, get good grades, get your job, and what have you? Do you know, by the way, you guys, have you ever thought of sitting down, think about your life, think about the job, where you are heading, where you have come from, how many years you have worked, and you ask yourself, why have I even achieved the financial freedom? Do you know what? A job is like a painkiller. Does not cure disease, but sort of it masks the problem. Then later the problem comes in, then it masks it again, then it comes again, then it masks. So by the time you realize that years are gone, you've not achieved anything. So job will never reach you to the destination of financial freedom. Let me ask a very simple question. If you see somebody driving, say, a very expensive car, would you tell me that they just bought that car out of the money that they're getting from the job? First of all, whatever they pay you from a job is enough to cater for the basic things, no matter how they pay you. You know what? If you're a doctor, if you're a surgeon, whatever the thing, or pilot, they're paying you, well, from a normal man's eye, they say you're being paid a lot. Listen, even if you are a CEO, they're paying you that because they know your lifestyle. You tend to behave this way. They can assume where you will live. And that's why if today you meet somebody randomly in town and ask them, hey, good morning, how are you doing today? Hey, my name is John. What's your name? Oh, my name is Marcy. And then you ask them, what do you do for a living? She tells you, I'm a doctor. Of course, there's that thing you've been, okay, there's somewhere you expect them to be living, isn't it? And what if you meet somebody, be like, hey, good morning, how are you doing today? What's your name? My name is so and so. Oh, what do you do for a living? Oh, I'm a mason. Oh, okay. So the moment they tell you that, you're like, okay, I can expect where they live. So if one day you get the doctor living in shanty place, you'll be like, oh, but you told me you're a doctor. Yeah, I'm a doctor. But why are you? Okay, you can't ask them that, but you're almost asking them, why are you living here? Because listen, society has these expectations. Are we together? You tell them this is what I do, and that's why people ask you, what do you do for a living? They don't ask you because they care. They don't. They ask you what you do for a living so that they can know how much respect to accord to you. If you tell them, hey, listen, if you tell them how big you are, I work in this and this and this and that, then they're like, oh, okay, this person ought to be respected. That is exactly what they do. And a lot of people have actually fallen into that trap. And that's why you find, let me ask a very simple question. Today, I'm not even telling you to subscribe because I know you have already subscribed. I'm not even telling you to like the video because I know you have already liked the video, isn't it? Am I lying? Unless you want to tell me that I'm a liar, I know you have liked the video and I know you're going to leave me a comment on the comment section. And thank you for that. Now, see, for instance, let me ask a very simple question. How much was your first salary? Mine was 5,000. I never forget. 5,000 for those who are not Kenyans are like, it's like less than $50. A month, not a day, a month. I was being given 5,000, okay? 5,000. That's what I got. And listen, well, it was quite of a good amount of money. I mean, you get what I'm saying. I mean, it was a quite over money anyway. And then after that, the salary increased to 7,000. Why? By the way, for those who don't know, I started as a teacher. I was tutoring. By the way, I did pass my exam. That's the high school exam. So I was invited back to the high school to do tutoring, blah, 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 those kind of things. Anyway, there's that kind of a thing here in Kenya. To go back to those guys whom you left behind to motivate them. So the first time I was given 5,000, then it was added 2,000, 7,000. Listen, guess what? Oh my God, I don't know how I can frame it. I was struggling to save this 5,000. Yeah, I was having some issues. So I was like, oh my goodness. If I can get just a single thousand on top of this, I can manage to save that one single thousand because I was struggling. Then boom, 7,000 came in. Okay, there is an increment by 2,000. Guess what? The same problem. I was struggling from it. Oh my goodness. If this man can actually just hit 10, just 10, God, can you make it 10? If you can just hit 10, then I can save 3, then I survive on 7. Guess what? The salary hit all the way to 12,000. Guess what? The same problem. Oh my God. If you can just get only, wow, these people who earn 20,000, how do they manage? Wow, if I can get 20,000 a month, I'm good to go. I'm telling you. Listen, this is how the cycle goes. If you can remember, and you find somebody is all the way has moved all that cycle to a point whereby he's earning 150,000. By the way, if you are in Kenya and you're earning this amount of money, this is a good cash. This is like over $1,000 in a month. Well, that's quite a good money. Anyway, in Western countries may not mean a lot, but Kenya means a lot. See, the moment you hit there, guess what? You're still affected by the same problem that you had when you have 5,000. This is what people do. You live by your parents. The moment you get your first job, guess what happens now? You get out of your parents' house, you go rent yourself, so you have yourself a bill. Boom. So when you're living to your parents in your parents' house, then you get a salary. So when you're living in your parents' house, there is no salary, so there is no difference between whatever. So the moment you get a salary, boom, there is a gap created between how much you're spending and how much you're earning. So this difference is what you can save, is what you can invest. Are we together? But now you say, hey, guess what? I cannot live by my parents. I have to live by myself. Boom. Then you close the gap by you getting yourself a house. Yes, then bills comes in. And then all of a sudden, say you start by a very single room. And then after some time, the salary has been increased. You don't like the room. You go to a different place. Boom. You create another. So then maybe let's say there is a salary increment and then you migrate to the same place. Like that. So you keep on closing the gaps. You keep on closing the gap. But the time you realize, even if you're earning, listen, guys, I do receive calls, and a lot of them from guys. Somebody telling me I'm earning 280,000 Kenyan shillings. That's over 2,500 US dollars a month. And the guy is telling me I'm struggling to save. I'm struggling to manage my finances. You ask them, how much are you paying for your rent? Hey, I'm paying 80,000 rent. Oh my goodness. Are you married? No, I'm not married. Oh my goodness. Why are you paying 80,000 a month for your rent? You just say, I just want to live good. You know, I struggled a lot when I was growing up. Why can't you just delay the gratification and do something? Okay, maybe unless your ultimate goal was to live in that particular place, then I would say you're living your goal. But of course you are not, because, well, if it were, then you could have not called me. But you called me because you feel like you're uncomfortable. So the point is, when you are employed, when you have the job, by the way, guys, will you allow me to preach a little bit? God never created us to seek for jobs. God created us to pursue the work. There's a great difference between the job and the work. Job is what they train you to do. Job is what you are born to do. You do it naturally, with ease. Are we together? See, now, when you actually go ahead and rely on your job to achieve the financial freedom, you cannot do it. And this is why. I told you at the beginning, job is like the painkiller that they give you. It does not cure you from the problem, but it masks the problem for a short period of time, then it goes back. You remember there's time I drew a graph here and I showed you how the roller coaster of emotions is as far as if you're employed, where I told you everyone loves their job from day 31st to day 6, because that is the payment period. And from day 7 all the way to date 15, people are contemplating getting the advance. From day 15 to date 22, people hate their jobs. From day 25 to again to day 30, people with the window of hope. So that roller coaster, I hate my job, I want the advance, I love the job, and then you get the thing, that roller coaster, then 1 month ends, 2, 3, 4, 1 year, 2, 3, 40 years are gone. So why your job will never achieve your dream, will never achieve the financial freedom, because that what they pay you pays for the three things. That is the house, that's what you guys call rent. 2, that money pays for your what we call the shelter. No, not really. Rent is the shelter. Then the other thing is clothing. All right. And the other thing is, of course, the food. Those are the three basic things. You know why? Salary, of course, the job they pay you, the salary. Salary is a decent name that they gave it, but the correct term is the wage or wages. You know why? Because people used to be slaves back then. They used to work for free, and then they substituted that. They said, hey, you know what? A free individual will work far much better than an employee. So they know what? See, a slave is given these three things: the rent, the clothing, and the food. That's what the slave is being given for free. But now they say, hey, I don't want to be a slave. Pay me so that I can pay for myself. Like, okay, fine. So the house we were giving you, so it's no longer there. The clothing is no longer there. The food is not there. So we're gonna pay you. You buy these things by yourself. And guess what? They paid you, or they pay you equivalents of achieving these things. Even if you're paying the house rent worth 100,000 a month, they know that's what you need because of your position, because you're intoxicated by the position that you have. So you end up spending that money against all these three things. That's why the clothing, we have the basic shirt like this one. There is alternative of this, of the Gucci one, that will go like 100 times that the price of this. So the food, again, you can decide to be eating out each and every time and eating that expensive dinner of caviar and what have you. It's the same food. If you go for, you get what I'm saying, okay? Now, the point is, when you get a job. Of course, don't quit. By the way, it's the primary source of income, and it's that thing that can help you to propagate yourself towards achieving that what we call the financial freedom. Are we together? Iwinjo. Now, what you do is that you go ahead, that job, whatever they have given you, don't live in accordance to their expectations. For example, if somebody tells you he's a doctor in Kenya, approximately how much do you think they're paying for their rent, assuming they have not billed? Of course, we are talking that 40-ish amount of money up there, because we expect a doctor maybe to be doctor in Kenya. Doctors in Kenya earn around 210,000. That's like over $2,000 around there in a month or something or so. So of course you expect that person to be living, say, in a very expensive home or something also. Or maybe they're contemplating, or maybe they took a loan to build a home. Okay, or maybe they're driving a car or something of so. So the point is, if you do not meet or match the expectation in terms of how much you're spending to what, then with that regard, then it helps you to build yourself. Because when you live in accordance to what people are expecting you to do, then you're gonna get yourself into lots of problems. Because I have seen people, by the way, this idea actually came to me when I was attached. In Kenya, when you're in university, you have to be attached for you to graduate. Attachment, industrial attachment. So let me say that way. The man whom I was assigned to, like my internal supervisor or something, he told me, Joseph, please be very careful. I've been working this particular place for the last 32 years. In 2 years' time, I'll be retiring. Joseph, I highly advise you, please, as much as you're gonna get a job one day, I don't know. If you're gonna get a job one day, don't do what I did, because you're gonna end up where I ended up, or I'm ending up. Well, of course, I did build myself a home. True. I educated my kids. They're all formed. They're all educated. They have their jobs. But as far as my retirement is concerned, I'm not safe. I'm very much unstable. And that was a hit. That was my changing point. I realized as much as I'm pursuing one day maybe to get a job, I have to do the things differently from what this particular man did. And that is what you're supposed to do. So what then achieves you the financial freedom? What can you do to achieve the financial freedom? Is to simply invest. Is to simply, at the sideline of your job, you're doing something, you're being disciplined. There's some money that you're throwing into an investment. Okay? By the way, the fastest way out of poverty is starting a business. I don't know whether you know that. A video is coming about that, by the way. It's ready. Now, what happens is that you're throwing in that money towards that investment that is giving you the passive income. It's, building that structure. So you're actually increasing streams of income. You're having more streams of money is coming from this direction, the other direction, and the other direction. So it's actually converging at the one particular place. And you know what? No matter how they have employed you, you can actually be fired. Job does not assure you security forever and ever. That's why most of these people who are employed, they speak the language of insurance policy for my kids' education and what have you. They speak the language of pension. They speak the language of retirement and what have you. They speak the language of insurance, because they don't want to live in a life where they are risking anything. At the back of their head, they know I can get fired, something can happen, but they just want to live a life of, how can I even say it? Have you ever tried to start a business with somebody who has ever been employed, or somebody who spent a lot of time in unemployment? Do you know they actually function in a different way? Do you know there's like they come to the business with a certain assumptions, and or am I out of ordinary here? Have you ever interacted with those people? Somebody who has been employed, you see them, they write a very nice business plan, very nice, elegant, nice looking, and what have you. And these guys who are in business, they don't even care. They just, you tell them, hey, you know what, we can start this place tomorrow. They ask you, hey, let's go do it. Let's go do it. When it comes to businesses, investments, you don't need to be so smart. You don't need a lot of analysis, because when you've analyzed, you actually paralyze everything. So the thing is, there's nothing wrong you getting a job. Please get this. And this is my disclaimer. I'm not telling you go quit your job. Jobs are okay. For God's sake, for you to lead, you must follow fast. Job is that primary source of your income that you get. Be there. And as you're there, understand that you're supposed to be investing on other things, and nobody employs you to be rich or wealthy. Nobody employs you to achieve the financial freedom. That is somebody's dream you are working for. So work towards yours. There is that what you are created for. Work towards that. As much as you are helping them to achieve their dream, also build yours. So that when the right time comes, you're gonna go ahead and quit and do the thing you would like to do. And that is exactly what we do as far as the job is concerned. So, and that's why we say, or I say, nobody employs you to be wealthy, and your job will never achieve you the financial freedom or make you rich. That is it. Well, this video is open for criticism on the comment section. Anything you have to say, say it on the comment section. Are we together? See you in the next one. And don't forget, my number is always on the description of this video. You can grab it, shoot me a call. Let's talk business. For now, it's a goodbye. See you.